Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the weekly vlogs with your host, Eamon Standing. This week's vlog will be about everything that last week's vlog was meant to be about, because now we have the materials. So let's get started. Check it out. This is the banner stand that we have been waiting for. We have the setting with Terry and Set on that side. We've got a Tarpon Rogue banner in the middle, all our favourite characters, and we've got a Pugly banner on the side with Pugly and Alex. Talking of Pugly, Rollercoaster Extraordinaire is in the works. I'll give you a little demo. There's Alex's girlfriend Vicky kicking Pugly in the face. I think you all have warrant to not like her, but don't worry, I'm sure you might like her by the end of the story. Pugly can fix anything. And also we have the Monotron Duo by Korg. I've been waiting for this, and I'm very excited to show you its workings. I'll probably do a follow-up video on that after I've done some modding, because the beauty of these is that they're analog synthesizers, and thus they're great for circuit benders. I wouldn't really say I'm a circuit bender though. I'm just a guy who can follow instructions, although possibly by the end of this I might be a qualified circuit bender. I don't know. I modded the Korg Monotribe here. Oh, you can't see that. It's very, very dark. Okay, we'll take it into the light. This is the Poly 6. It's my first synth, and it is from the 80s, because I like the 80s, because it was acceptable in the 80s. But yes, this is the Monotribe, which you may have seen in my other video, which is kind of the big brother to the first Monotron, and this is a brother to the first Monotron, which has two oscillators and doesn't have an LFO section like but I'm sure you all know that if you're actually a synth junkie. But for those of you who aren't synth junkies, you'll probably get some nice happy little sounds. And yes, this has been retrofitted with MIDI in and out now, so what I aim to do eventually is be able to control this with the sequencer on this by implementing MIDI using the hack points that are so generously given to us by Korg in the back of that. But I won't open it up in this video because I don't have a screwdriver on my desk, and I can't be asked to go down to the garage and get it, because the house is being redecorated and there is paint in the way. Anyway, yes, let's check out the Monotron Duo. Stick around. The Monotron Duo, you'll be hilarious to know that I actually filmed this whole video about an hour and a half ago, and then when I went to put the card in to actually do the video on Windows Movie Maker, the card had gone corrupt, so I spent 1 hour waiting for it to reformat and sorting out all that crap. But now we're back, and so I shall talk through this again. Okay, so here we have the Korg Monotron Duo, which has been out in the UK for maybe about a week now, I think, on official release in general shops. And yeah, let's hear it. Okay, so we've got a standby, we've got a VCO 1 and VCO 1 and 2 positions of the switch. I apologise, I'm looking through the screen, so my playing is not so good. Okay, so let's have a look at the controls. We have the pitch for VCO 1. We have a cross mod taken from the Korg Monopoly. We have the pitch for VCO 2, which in VCO 1 mode acts as the frequency for the cross modulation, and it also does in VCO 1+2 mode, but you can actually also hear the second oscillator in its normal form. We've also got the MS10, MS20 filter with a cutoff and a peak control. Peak being resonance for those who are used to that convention. And then on the back we have auxiliary input for external audio, and we have a headphone out, and here's kind of the sound from the speakers. But I'm going to plug it into external speakers so we can get some of the really thick bass. Okay, we also have a volume control and this little switch which switches between scale modes. So I'm just going to turn it to a basic square wave, because both the oscillators in this are square waves. However, it looks like you can hack out a sawtooth wave and a pulse wave because of the way that the oscillators are constructed. If you take a look inside, you see, and on the schematic, you will see that there is output points for the sawtooth waveform, so that's going to be fun to mod. Okay, so I'll open the filter, I'll put the resonance down, so we've got a nice normal filter, turn the cross mod all the way down, I'll put it on VCO1 mode, turn VCO2 all the way down, and I'll have VCO1 set to 12 o'clock. So as you hear, that's a very nice square wave, like a Game Boy, and with this little switch, first when you turn it on, you get a chromatic spectrum, quantization, then one switch, based around C you have the Ionian major scale, which is rather nice, and you can just about get the top D and the bottom A if you're very, very nimble with your fingers. Then another click, you have the Aeolian minor scale, and then another click, you have continuous with the same proportion to the keyboard, similar to that of the original Monotron. So I'm going to put it on the minor, and as you can see, with this quantization, it's much easier to play, and you don't have as much problem making some very precise pitches. So in this way, Korg have really improved on the design for melody making, and essentially this is a very melody makeable synthesizer. As you can see, we've got two oscillators. So let's bring in a little bit of the cross mod. And what you'll hear is that is the cross modulation of the frequency that VCO2 is at. So if we turn that up to something that's in the audio range, that's kind of a very close to unison sound. And if we turn it up some more, gradually they go out of tune with each other, but you can adjust it so you can get other higher amounts of cross mod intensity, but with also unison. So you get very metallic sounds if you really take them out of their take them out of tune with each other. And then obviously you have the filter here, which is nice and high resonance. You get self-oscillation as is standard with the MS-10 and 20 filter, which I love. Okay, so let's take a look at the pitch range. So I'll put it back to a basic square. Okay, so that's it set at 12 o'clock, and we go all the way down to there at 0, and then all the way up to here by 10. So it's quite a low synthesizer, it sounds, but by the time you bring in the VCO2, you can get some very nice high piercing notes. You'll notice that this is flashing. It flashes in proportion to the pitch of the oscillator on VCO2. We can hear that now, and that's very only on the very edge of the audio spectrum. But I'd say the use of it actually flashing is more of an indication that the device is on rather than something very meaningful. It's very hard to see it flashing at in the audio spectrum, because we're talking hundreds of hertz. But yes, it's another square wave which has the it has a range of effectively that to that, because you'll find that if I set them both at 12 o'clock, nice unison, and it tracks. So this is how we can get very high melody. So let's set this to 2 octaves up. So here we have there we have some very high notes, and if we bring in some cross mod, get some very nice ravey sounds. But you can also get some very nice little chords as well. So let's turn down the cross mod intensity and some nice fifths. All tracking. So this is a very nice synthesizer to play with. The only thing that's missing from the original Monotron is the LFO, so we can't do like dead mousey kind of pulsing chords. But you can patch into the other Monotron if you have one, so it's not that much of a problem. And obviously the quantization of the keyboard is very nice, and I'd even go as to say that you could probably go and do some quite arpeggiated stuff, so as to get a thick sound. With an octave below. Let's bring it up a bit. And you can get a very nice pitch that's very clean due to the quantization. So we've got a really good little synth here, and I'd probably give it a good 10 out of 10, to be honest. I mean, for the price, I mean, I paid 35 for mine, and after the original Monotron was about 50 and they brought it down, that's a brilliant price. And it's tiny. Here's my hand. It's about slightly bigger than an old cassette tape for you people of the cassette tape generation. I mean, I am also of the cassette tape generation, but it's a great little synth, and you can just like sit around, play, like make some very nice thick bass sounds and very nice lead sounds, as I've already shown you. But let's just patch the Monotribe through the filter, and we'll take a look at how the filter reacts with an external audio. Stick around, it's all good fun. Okay, so here I have the Monotribe set up, and it's going through here. So let's now we'll turn down the synth. So that's lovely. That's a lovely filter, especially for these drums. I'll just make a nice house beat. Get a little bit of self oscillation. That is if you hear how the high frequencies of the hi-hats are cut out, so you can get a nice bass drum and then slowly bring it into the club, and you get the rest of it, and it's just a beautiful filter. But let's bring in the synths again. So I'm gonna just filter this a little bit on this end, and put a little bit on the one-shot LFO, so it, so we get a nice punchy saw bass. Oh no, that's square bass. Make it saw. So, as you can hear, it's a nice aggressive filter. But let's try it the other way around and put the Monotron through the LFO of this, and we can get some very, very nice effects. 1 second. Okay, a warning to you all. Unlike the Monotrons, as you can see, I am vigorously tapping on this Monotron, but you will only hear it once a note is played on the Monotribe. Because on the Monotribe, you have the VCA section, which is the amplifier, and that is only initialized when a note is played. So what you'll find is that you can't play notes from an external audio unless notes from here are being played. But that's not really any matter here, because what I aim to do is I add to effectively make a MIDI tribe trio by adding the Monotron duo to the sequencer of here. But let's have a little gander of some of the kind of textures you could get, even though they're not MIDI synced at the moment. The kind of textures I'm aiming to get, which I'll do a follow-up video on once I get this controllable by MIDI. Okay, so we need to tune this one. So let's say we'll have it on a okay. Okay, we'll put it on a minor scale. So it's quite a nice sound when this is being modulated by this LFO. So let's make something a little bit more how I like stuff. It's so bloody hard to do with one hand, because this tripod is nowhere near big enough. Let's quickly set up the Monotron duo. for a good oscillator pitch to complement that. Okay, I'm going to quickly pause this. I'm going to take the headphone out. I'm going to just adjust it. Okay, it's a nice fifth. I'll plug it back in. Let's begin. So we get quite a nice synthy sound. I'm going to put some LFO stuff work now. Cool stuff. Right. So we're just running the Monotron Duo through the Monotribe, and it is sounding sick! Let's bring in some dubstep actually. This would be a lot better if I could use both hands. But I think I'm doing okay. So, as you can see, that was pretty fun, and the Korg Mono series were really fun to play with. So basically, when we get this hooked up to that via MIDI, although we won't be doing that type of stuff, we could have the possibility of basically stacking 3 oscillators on top of each other instead of just the one. Okay, so that has been the weekly vlog for this time. I'll cut to a little section of video after I've packed up and I'll give you a proper goodbye. So, that has been a lovely little vlog on my part, because I love synths, and I'm sure you'd love them too if you were playing with them at the same time that I was. And I apologise for the one-handedness, but I think it sounded okay, just for a nice little improv. They're both great pieces of kit, and they're so fun to tinker around inside if you've got the confidence. Well, basically I'd say once you've opened something and once you've voided the warranty, it's not like you can void your warranty more. So I'm gonna have a shot. It'll be fun, and I'll keep you posted. I'll probably do another video once if I can sync them all up. So this has been Eamon Standing. Comic Village Alliance has its own site now. I won't put the link in the description just yet because it's a bit beta, but it's looking lovely, courtesy of Peter Vine, and I thank him greatly for it. So yes, the weather outside isn't so good as last week, but I've had a good day inside, and now I must do my laundry, because it is time to do my laundry. Stick around, and I hope you had a good time listening to it, and I hope if anyone decides to purchase them, given them a little bit of an insight on how these things are working. If you want me to do any more videos, I'm happy to do other videos about them in detail, with detailed requests if you want. So have fun, keep synthing, and remember, analog is better than digital, at least with filters. I'm sure I can spark a little bit of rage by saying that. Night everyone, have a good one.